The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
Let me talk to you.
You're listening to In the Corner with Benny Mac. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unforgiving. Here's the man in the corner, Benny Mac.
Welcome back to In the Corner. Hope you're having a great day, or had a great day, depending on whenever you listen to this, really. Hello from the past. Wow, it's very interesting stuff, WWE-wise, isn't it, going on at the moment? Hard to know what to say, really, to be honest, on that one. Yeah, by the looks of it, WWE is going to be sold. Who that's going to at the moment, don't know. Obviously, there was those big rumours that came out that the Saudis were going to have it, other people. And so, to be honest with it, I'm worried about it in a sense of where it might go. I'm actually more worried about the fact that Vince McMahon is now back in control as chairman. I have no issue with that necessarily, but what I do have an issue with is the fact that I think Triple H has done a fantastic job so far with turning the product around. It's been about 6 months. Yes, we've had some comebacks and people return to the company and stuff like that. And also a case of apparently Vince is making suggestions. He's allowed to do that, but he's leaving creative to Triple H. And my worry with that is how long before he doesn't like something that Triple H is doing. You know, a couple of weeks. Stephanie's left the company, which I never thought I'd hear, but there we go. As I sit here and talk to you right now, the company hasn't been sold. It's still in process. There's other rumours coming out all the time. We'll get into more of that maybe on the Sunday show, to be honest. Let the week pan out a bit more. I want to talk wrestling, basically, some WWE action from this Raw this past week, some Royal Rumble stuff coming up as well, although I did read this morning. I'm not familiar with his work, but it's always sad to see, especially at 38 years old. Jay Briscoe, I know he's in AEW, done some stuff in AEW. He's also done stuff in Ring of Honor and loads of other places that I'm not fully aware of what he's done and stuff like that. But it's always sad to see that happen. Unfortunately, I believe a car crash, which is even so sudden, you know. But yeah, I don't really know what more to say, really. It's sad that it's happened. Passed away on Tuesday, and he was in a car crash, as I've already said. But just put your hand, thoughts and to the family and friends of Jay, and hopefully the outpouring from fans who did know his work, and I appreciate every wrestler that ever gets in the ring. To be fair. Whether you have a 5-minute match or a 50-minute match, whatever, it's of all the things that could happen to you while doing that in the squared circle. But yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to the family, friends, and any fans that feel the need to show their respect. Do it nicely on social media and whoever you can, really, I guess. And I'm sure there'll be some tributes and stuff flying out this over the next week or two. So. Yeah, we'll move on. Don't want to dwell on it too much because obviously no Tyler this week. Tyler will be back next week, hopefully with a special guest because we'll move on to a bit happier things. But Raw 30 is next week, so I'm trying to draft some people in to share some memories and favourite moments of WWE Raw and stuff like that. So if you want to do that, you can give me a DM on Twitter at In The Corner WWE. Let me know some of your favourite Raw moments. I'll also put a post up nearer the time. Excuse me. And we'll talk some Monday Night Raw, obviously. So it's been 30 years. That's insane in itself, isn't it? So yeah, we're talking Raw, obviously, on the show today, as well as some Royal Rumble stuff. I could go into Vince McMahon a bit more. I feel this is going to be no matter where you look, whether you go on Facebook, Twitter, bloody, I don't know, Snapchat, wherever else, Instagram, there's going to be a lot of stuff talking about Vince McMahon, WWE being sold. All I will say is let's just see what happens. I liked what Triple H has done, as I've already said. But yeah, I just obviously the retirement thing was a work, obviously, or a way of doing it. I understand. The one thing I will say is I understand they're trying to sell the company, and the fan theory or the theories floating around the old blogosphere is, or the webosphere is that Vince wants to make the company private again, so he will then run it whoever he sells it to. So, but any company that buys it and the stuff that's gone on with Vince and the allegations and stuff may not want that because of what's attached to Vince McMahon, you know. So we'll see what happens. We will keep an eye on it. I'll bring up stuff when I find it. Some stuff I see, read, and I'm looking at, go, well, that can't be true, or there's no way of me verifying it, or you know that whole first week was they were selling it to the Saudis, and I think within the day it was almost crushed, and said no, it isn't. That may still happen. A lot of jokes about Disney buying them. And, you know, there's plenty of other, you know, USA Network could potentially do the same. They've been on USA for decades, on and off. So we'll see what happens. I did read a report the other day that said SmackDown is actually costing Fox a lot of money to have on their network. So we'll see what happens there. All I can say is I'm just hoping Royal Rumble is really good. I'm hoping the entertainment is still good for everybody to watch and they can enjoy it. And I like Triple H being head of creative at the moment. Storylines are coherent, so unless you count, you know, Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt, may not make sense to you on the face of it, but it's a good story, and I'm interested to see where this goes. Now you're incorporating Uncle Howdy with Alexa Bliss as well. Are we going to have like a restart to a degree of maybe or something similar to what we had before? Because I feel like the story wasn't really explained why Alexa turned on Bray at WrestleMania. Then obviously Bray left the company for 2 years. Such a shame. They just build that character up. We've said it before on the podcast. They build Bray Wyatt up and then just cut the legs from underneath him each time. So interested to see. I mean, this last few weeks we've seen Nikki Cross hanging about in the crowd or hanging backstage in interview segments as well. I'm waiting for that to rear its head or whatever that's going to be. It's interesting because Bayley was being interviewed and you had Nikki Cross appear from like some crates behind. And this past week she's in the crowd, I think. So. I think on SmackDown, I think, actually, as well. So, no, it was Raw. So, yeah. Also, the big news, one of the big news is Raw 30, which is next week, obviously. We'll get into it in a moment. But we have no more contenders for the Raw Raw Tag Team Championships. And we're also going to have a number one contender for the SmackDown Championship titles as well. So, which tells me, I don't know whether Usos are going to walk out with the titles, or maybe what they could do is they could have them maybe keep the Raw ones, defend the SmackDown ones. They lose the SmackDown ones because they're the Raw Tag Team Champions. They have to stay on Raw, which would then bring them away from Roman. So that's one way of doing it. There was also talks about splitting the title up from Roman as well, but they didn't go ahead with it in the end. So interesting. Maybe the tag team division is a way of testing that theory on how they can do it in a weird way. But either way, Raw 30 is going to be excellent. We'll talk more about it next Wednesday. Hopefully, Tyler will be here by all accounts and hopefully a guest as well. And that's going to be interesting because we're going to have three sort of people who have different perspectives on the business, hopefully, and talking some about their favourite moments of Raw. But like I said, at In The Corner WWE on Twitter, DM me, send me a tweet. What is your favourite moments on Raw? We'll read them out and we'll go through them as best we can. But yeah, Raw this week. Do you know what? Raw this week was all right, to be fair. Again, I will always say this, and I can't help not say it, but you know, it's too long in terms of that's not the product is actually good at the moment. But Raw itself is the show is too long, and I think it suffers because of it. I really do believe that. So, but yeah. We had some some good matches this week, actually. It kicked off with the Bloodline, in a sense of no Sami Zayn, which was interesting compared to what happened last week. If anybody did see that, just Sami was supposed to take out KO, but the Bloodline and Sikoa turned up. Well, the Usos and Sikoa turned up, sorry. And it looked like Sami was going to win the match, but then they got him disqualified, so he didn't win. And Sammy looked a bit despondent in the fact that I was supposed to do this. I wanted to prove myself. And it's interesting with Sami Zayn because we don't know what's going to happen in terms of that storyline. And it's getting good, to be honest. And I urge you to see the interactions with Sammy and Roman and stuff. They're really good. Where it goes, I have no idea. But that's the point. I'm enjoying it. I could sit here and try and spout out where I think it's going to go. And there's plenty of fan theories out there. Right now, I'm enjoying it. So if you haven't watched SmackDown, and especially when Roman's there, I tell you what, if you haven't watched Raw for a while, tune in next week, Raw 30. There's going to be some legends there, people you do know. What's interesting, I'm supposed to be talking about this week's Raw, but next week's Raw is stacked, man. And it's a case of apparently the whole Bloodline family is going to be there. Not just Uso, Sikoa, I'm assuming Sami Zayn, and Paul Heyman and Roman, but they're going to get the other members of the Anoa'i family to acknowledge Roman. If this is not the chance for Rock to either acknowledge or not acknowledge Roman, Raw 30 is it. Do I know that's going to happen? Of course not. But what a way of saying all the family members are going to be there. Or Rock isn't there and Roman makes a reference to it that he didn't turn up to acknowledge me. How, then be disgruntled that way. So I don't know whether it's going to happen, but it'd be really cool if it did. I'm not going to lie. Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. I know some people are probably rolling their eyes at the thought of that. If you have Roman beat Rock at WrestleMania and walk out with the Undisputed Championship still, and then we have Roman lose, because apparently they do want to split the titles. That's what I've read. Again, whether it's true, I have no idea. But the way they worded it on Raw this week, the whole Anoa'i family was going to be there to acknowledge the tribal chief. How cool. Again, Raw 30. Why not? Very interesting. Just my theory and just a thought process. Like I said, we could have it so he doesn't turn up and Roman makes reference to it that night. How dare you not acknowledge your tribal chief? I'm the head of the table. All that stuff. So it'd be amazing. One of the matches I actually really did enjoy, and I felt quite sorry for Akira Tozawa, was Bronson Reed defeated Akira Tozawa. Akira Tozawa actually wanted to prove himself so he could be in the Rumble. Adam Pearce said, I can't promise that, but I'll give you a match, and that will go a long way of proving to me whether you're worthy, basically. Bronson Reed beat the absolute snot out of Akira Tozawa, and if you haven't seen it, try and watch the highlights on YouTube or something, or even rewatch Raw. I'm not going to say it's the best wrestling match in the world, but what a hard-hitting match. I was wincing at some of the stuff when Akira Tozawa got hit and stuff. Bronson Reed looking good. Looks very good. I don't know much about him. I didn't really see him in NXT, to be honest with you. But an interesting start for Bronson Reed. And it could be a start of many victories at the moment. We'll see how it happens. Bianca Belair returned this week after she got taken out by Alexa Bliss from that DDT on the steps. And by all accounts, we are going to see Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss face. So Alexa Bliss is going to face Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship. So interesting, because that's where all these other characters, Howdy, Bray, are going to be. Is there going to be some sort of interaction in the match, after the match, during the match? I don't know, or backstage, I have no idea. So interesting to see where that goes. Minchkin defeated Io Sky. Io Sky being one and a half of the tag team championship. Candice LeRae helped save Minchkin from a post-match attack by Dakota Kai. That was again, I'm not going to say every single match was amazing on Raw, but it was good. It was a good watch this week. Judgment Day defeats Alpha Academy via pinfall. Dominic Mysterio pinned Chad Gable after Damian Priest hits South of Heaven. Gable had Mysterio in ankle lock, and then Rhea Ripley distracted the referee to allow Priest to take Gable out and Mysterio get the pinfall. That's what I've written down there. You talk about development of character. Dominic, at the moment, is the guy you love to hate. Because not only he went to prison, I don't know if anybody saw the backstage stuff and the exclusive online stuff, but there was an altercation again at Christmas between Dom, Ray, Rhea, and the family. Dom's mum slapping Rhea, and then Dominic got arrested and taken away from the house. So they're playing it like he's come out wearing this bandana and all this like around his mouth. Don't get me wrong. So this guy is like a hybrid of sort of Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. It's more Eddie Guerrero at the moment. I'm not going to lie. And you can tell he's hated because when Chad Gable locked in the ankle lock, and let's face it, Alpha Academy aren't I wouldn't say they're the baby faces by any stretch, but when Chad Gable put that ankle lock on Mysterio, the pop of the crowd tells me that Dominic Mysterio as a heel is working because they love the fact that he had the ankle lock on him. He's making out he was in prison for weeks, but they also said you were in for days, and he's talking about you wouldn't last 5 minutes in prison with the people I know, so the wrestler. It's so obnoxious and so annoying, but it works, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that does. And you can't wait for this kid to get smacked in the mouth, which is, it tells me I can't wait for him to get smacked in the mouth. I feel that we are going to see an altercation between Dom and Ray at some point, possibly the Rumble, which makes sense to me. Although I'm not aware that Dominic's entered the Rumble as of yet, if at all. But we'll see what happens. Omos returned. We haven't seen him for a while, but he defeated Elias. Omos is with MVP again. MVP over the last few weeks has been trying to indirectly or directly in some cases recruit Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and possibly Bobby Lashley. MVP actually played a big role in the Street Profits and Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin tag team match. MVP tried to help. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric were both perplexed of why MVP is there. What are you doing? Tried to help. His help ended up causing part of it, but ended up causing Cedric and Shelton to lose to the Street Profits. It didn't go down well. Later on in the night, we had I've got to mention this one first before we get on to that. Well, we'll stick to MVP, because MVP also spoke to Bobby Lashley a week ago and said about possibly offering his services again. And what I liked about it was Bobby didn't go, yeah, okay. He went, no, because of what you did to me, man. I mean, we're cool, but no, I don't trust you. And a nice little subtle way of saying, I forgive you, but I'm not ready for you to be in my corner. And again, coherency in the storyline. Very good. Like the show, yeah, all right, the show's too long. But the story that they tell through the evening is, in terms of the action, the backstage, the interviews and all that stuff, I don't feel that we're having sections of the show now where you go, why was that there? And sometimes it's never referred to ever again, back, maybe a year ago. So, like I said, coherency in both shows. They're overlapping with each other now as well. This happened on Raw. This is the fallout on SmackDown. This happened on SmackDown. This is the fallout on Raw. Almost like the old days to a degree. I can't wait for I want them to do the old school draft. I say old school draft, not where they just come out and go, oh yeah, we've got this person now. I want to see matches that draft people. I think I spoke about this with Tyler a few weeks ago. Match, if Raw wins, you get one. If SmackDown wins, you get this. And like I said before, I believe on the podcast, chuck NXT in there, but don't make a big deal of it. And occasionally, an NXT person will be called up to either SmackDown or Raw via the draft system. So you're not stealing somebody from SmackDown or stealing somebody from Raw. You're gaining somebody for whichever brand. Sorry. So I like to see that anyway. MVP cost the guys a tag team match, and then later on there was a 6-pack. Would they call it a 6-pack? What do they call it? So it was Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor, and Baron Corbin in a 6-pack challenge. There you go. And it was to earn a shot at the United States Championship Raw next week at the Raw 30. Miz was the first man out. I saw that coming a mile away. And to be honest, it looked like it was going to be. It came down to Seth and Bobby. It looked like it was going to be possibly Seth again, but we have seen Seth in theory a few times now. So, but MVP got involved in this match as well with Omos outside. Omos got curb stomped on the announce table. Indirectly or directly, MVP and Omos kind of helped Bobby Lashley become the number one contender for next week's huge match for Raw next week. So I'm interested in that. I don't know what's going to happen with Theory and Bobby Lashley, but it looks like MVP is trying to, with the addition of Omos, which would be amazing. To be fair, Omos is getting better, but you stick Omos with Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. The Hurt Business back, because I felt like the Hurt Business back when they disbanded very prematurely. Bobby became WWE champion, and literally he went, I don't need you guys, and beat them up. And it was like, really? they help get you to that, not that they help necessarily him win the title, but it was part of the stable, so it made no sense. So there's unfinished business here, but I like the way it's panning out. I actually kind of want the Hurt Business to get back together. If they do, I think it'll make Bobby a heel again, at least in the first instance, but we'll see what happens. Maybe Omos and Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin and MVP become it, and Bobby is like, well, the Hurt Business is my thing, not yours. So again, several ways this could go. Interesting to see what's going to happen in terms of the United States Championship. We also have a Raw Tag Team Championship match as well. That's going to be cool to see whether the Usos can keep hold of one set of belts. Is this the start of the downfall in terms of the Bloodline losing titles, maybe? Because they haven't lost for 500-something days in terms of the tag titles, and in terms of the Universal and WWE Championship, in terms of Universal, it's 500-odd. No, it's a little more than that now, isn't it? It's a lot of days. Raw's going to be good anyway because Roman's going to be there. There's Legends going to be there. Could The Rock be making an appearance? Could The Rock's name be mentioned? I have no idea. It's going to be interesting to see, though. The other big match is going to be next week, ladies and gents. I'm actually quite excited for, which I didn't think I was going because I've kind of had enough of it. But Bayley will be taking on Becky Lynch, allegedly one-on-one, in a steel cage match on Raw. So Raw 30 is shaping up to be a good night. They did show some legends who were going to be there. Like I did see X-Pac on there. I think Undertaker's due to be there. Road Dogg, Farouk, the Bella Twins, Kurt Angle. I think Teddy Long was on the picture as well. Jerry the King Lawler, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. So the matches that are actually on the show that we know, and they're having the acknowledgement ceremony with Roman. I'm guessing that might either be the end, depending on how it's going to go. Maybe it'll be the end or the beginning. I don't know. But United States Championship be defended, and the Raw Tag Team titles, not the Undisputed Tag Team titles, the Raw Tag Team titles are going to be defended. So, going to be cool. Like I said, I enjoyed the show. I like Belair and I like Alexa. The storyline hasn't quite grabbed me. I'm more interested to see where the Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt stuff happens with Alexa. Maybe she does lose to Bianca at Rumble, and this pushes her over the edge to... Although we've seen Uncle Howdy attack Bray, so I don't know what's going on with that. But again, I'm enjoying it. One match I didn't mention on Raw this week, Solo Sikoa is the opening match against Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali, Sikoa won. It was a good match, to be honest. Good opening segment to Raw overall with the Bloodline and the Usos and Sikoa and all that was going on. Kevin Owens came out as well. There was a bit of a brawl at the beginning, then Sikoa took on Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali's attitude is changing. He also attacked Dolph Ziggler backstage before the six-pack challenge as well. So I think we're starting to see a shift in Mustafa Ali. I saw it a few weeks ago, but now he's dressing differently in terms of black and gold. So I feel like we are starting to see the start of a heel Mustafa Ali. You haven't paid attention to me, so now he's going to lay people out, and you will pay attention to me, basically, is what I'm getting at. So I'm actually interested to see what Mustafa Ali does, because beforehand, don't get me wrong, some great matches, but there was nobody seemed to care whether he won or lost, really, I guess. So maybe from next week, we might see Mustafa Ali start winning some matches and being a bit more aggressive. So I'm interested to see that, to be honest with you. Some great stuff coming from this week. Look, overall, like I said, Raw was good this week. Every time I talk about Raw, though, the show is just too damn long. But the matches that were put on were really good. Not all of them were 5-star or anything like that, and I don't think any of them were, but the closest I think you'll probably get is... I'm enjoying the Judgment Day and the Usos and stuff, like I said, but I think Sikoa in Mustafa Ali, for me, was one of the matches of the night. And then seeing a bit more of Bronson Reed, that was a hard-hitting match, and I felt sorry for Akira Tozawa, to be honest with you, as I was watching it. But yeah, cool. As for Raw, we'll talk some SmackDown on Sunday. I'll try and dive into the whole Vince McMahon stuff as well for the Sunday show. Let me know at In the Corner WWE. Anything from Raw, whether it's WWE, Raw, WWE news, whatever. Let me know. Obviously, Raw Rumble. It is, as I sit here now with you, it's 10 days away. I'm so excited for the Rumble. I love the Raw Rumble match. It was the first. Anybody who's listened to me before 2000 was my first real experience of watching. I'd seen a bit of wrestling before, but was my first real look at wrestling properly in terms of Royal Rumble in 2000. I've spoken about it before. At the moment, so we have now, it's not on the list here actually, but we do have Bianca and Alexa doing the Raw Women's Championship now at Rumble. We obviously have the men's and women's Royal Rumble. But the only other matches apart from those three are Bray Wyatt is taking on LA Knight. It's called a pitch black match. That's fine. I don't know what it is. It's going to be interesting. Is it going to be a cinematic type thing? I have no idea. Or is it going to be in the arena? We'll find out. We've never seen one before. But they've started sponsoring it, and that's fine. But I don't like the fact that it's now called the Mountain Dew pitch black match. All right, it's sponsored by Mountain Dew. Fine. Okay, put it on the graphic. But don't call it the Mountain Dew pitch black match. What the fuck is that? They're going to throw bottles of Mountain Dew at each other? Probably. Now, actually, I've said that. They probably fucking will. I get they need sponsors and they have sponsors. I get it. But don't call it the Mountain Dew pitch black match. You know, it's like calling it the Toblerone Hell in a Cell match or something. Or the Penguin bloody last man's... I don't know. It just annoys me. Why is it called now? So is it going to be called that in the video game? Mountain Dew pitch black match? Is that what it's going to be called? I doubt it. It's going to be called the pitch black match. I'm getting angry. Pitch black match. So yeah, I mean, that's my only gripe with that. I'm interested to see what LA Knight does with Bray Wyatt. It's going to be awesome.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. So yeah, going to be awesome. Interested to see Bray Wyatt in the ring. I know he has been doing house shows, and I understand he broke one of his fingers or really hurt one of his fingers. So obviously, I'm waiting for that to heal. But he has been doing a few house shows here and there in the ring. So by the time we see him at Rumble, hopefully his finger's healed and he'll be up to par again. And obviously, the other match that we do know about at the moment, undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns will take on Kevin Owens for the undisputed title. So those two titles are being defended together still. Whether we have that through WrestleMania and after WrestleMania, maybe one comes off, I don't know. Interesting to see. Cody Rhodes announced that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's actually been confirmed. That makes me think, because we were all expecting Cody. Let's face it. Don't pretend you don't think that. We're all thinking that Cody's going to return and win. That could still happen. The fact they've announced it, obviously that helps sell the pay-per-view, the premium event, whatever. Does that mean, now we know Cody is 100% going to be at the Rumble, in the Rumble, does that mean there's a bigger surprise coming within the Royal Rumble match? Is there somebody we haven't thought of? Some people are saying Rock. What could be interesting? Maybe we end up with a triple threat match at WrestleMania, and we do the old classic where the first four is for the WWE Championship and the second four is for the Universal Championship. Now, Cody Rhodes has made it very clear that he wants the WWE Championship. That's the bout that he wants to bestow upon his father. That could be a way of doing it, having a triple threat where one fall is for one and one fall. It's not unprecedented. It has happened before. It happened with the European title and the Intercontinental Championship, I think in 2000. So it's not unprecedented. It is possible. The acknowledgement ceremony at Raw next week is going to be very telling of where this may go. Very interesting. But again, we are 10 days away from the Rumble. And I'm excited for it. Honestly, it's on Saturday again as well. If anybody knows anywhere that's doing like a big screen somewhere where we can all meet up and have a chat about it, I'd freaking love that. A few beers and watch some Royal Rumble. Love the Royal Rumble. That's about it for this week's show, to be honest with you. Hello, everybody. My messages are going off. So, let me know what you think of Raw. Let me know what you're expecting from Royal Rumble. We will talk more about this next Wednesday, hopefully with some guests. And it's going to be all. Thank you for supporting the SJP Raw Media Network. Thank you for supporting this show. Thanks to Sai for letting me do this show. Hopefully you're enjoying it, and hopefully you don't mind me being by myself every now and again. One last thing I want to talk about very quickly, and I know we talked about it a little bit, but I'm excited about it. And Money in the Bank is going to be in London this year. The irony of this is I really want to go. Hopefully I can get tickets and stuff. But the irony is that In the Corner started, our very first show was Money in the Bank, and me and NJB reviewed the first, that was our first show that we reviewed to get this podcast rolling. So Money in the Bank marks a year for this show. I mean, how cool would it be to actually be at in London at Money in the Bank? Maybe we could record some stuff while we're down there. I don't know, or while we're trying to go live on like Twitter Spaces or something. I have no idea. So many ideas in my head. It just depends whether I can get tickets or not. But I understand the tickets are going to be on sale, I think, July 1st, ladies and gents. On I think you can get them on like places like Ticketmaster and stuff like that. I'm not going to push every single company because I'm not getting paid enough for that, or at all for that matter. But yeah, the fact that Money in the Bank is going to be in London, it also marks a year of this show as well. It's going to be so exciting for me. And I'm hoping the show grows, and I'm hoping you're enjoying it. Any ideas you have, let me know at In the Corner WWE. And that's pretty much it for me, to be honest. We were back Sunday with some SmackDown stuff, some news on possibly Vince McMahon, and whatever else will be going on in the crazy world of WWE. Have yourself a good week, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks very much for listening.
Let me talk to you. Cheers, please.